Moog, they make synthesizers, you guys. Moog makes synthesizers. Moog warns that Trump trade tariffs pose a threat to its business. Moog is asking its customers to protest tariffs that may result in job losses. U.S. synth company Moog has warned that a 25% tariff on the import of Chinese goods brought in by President Trump could result in layoffs and the end of its instruments being made in the U.S. Okay. Although Moog builds all of its synths on U.S. soil in its North Carolina factory, it relies heavily on circuit boards from China. Well, it says that it sources circuit boards from U.S. suppliers wherever possible, paying up to 30% over the price of the same circuit boards made overseas. The majority of the raw components still come from China, and it will be unable to avoid the cost increase. In an email, the company warned these tariffs will immediately and drastically increase the cost of building its instruments, could result in layoffs at its factory, and in a worst-case scenario, force the company to move manufacturing overseas. We ask that you will support us by imploring our elected officials to recognize that these tariffs are seriously harmful to American businesses like Moog. Okay. Moog isn't the only U.S. business facing problems because of Trump's trade tariffs. Harley-Davidson announced it was moving some manufacturing overseas to avoid EU motorcycle tariffs brought on as a response to U.S. duties on steel and aluminum imports. General Motors also warned that proposed tariffs on foreign cars and parts could result in fewer cars being built on U.S. soil. So this is a slippery one. This is kind of a slippery slope. The tariffs, you know, there's two sides to this, certainly. And the side I'm taking is I think this is just kind of corporate doublespeak. I think this is just, oh, we don't want to pay this extra. We don't want it to hurt our bottom line. So we might need to move jobs. We might need to shut down factories. We might need to move jobs. I don't think so. And again, like, we would need hard numbers and stuff like that, but I don't think so. I think this is sort of just a corporate grab at wanting more NAFTA-like policies, which aren't good, which does not benefit workers. We all know that. So, well, you know, well, I do not think Trump has the interests of the worker at heart either. In the case of these tariffs, you know, there is the other side to kind of produce more on our own soil, which benefits jobs domestically and is a good thing, and kind of removes the handouts to corporations around the world, which is really what NAFTA and stuff is about. So I have a feeling, and Moog, I'll say this, Moog, you need to find a solution where, you know, and I'm not saying Moog shouldn't be a profitable company. They should. They make instruments, and they should turn a profit, and they should, you know, the people at the top should be able to make good livings, as should the people making the product. They are all entitled to making a good living. You know, so I'm not trying to be totally unreasonable here, but Moog is a musical instrument maker, and I really do feel that those types of companies should kind of set an example of making sure the workers are taken care of first and foremost, and evolving the way they need to with any changes that may arise. They say that we use American-made boards whenever we can. Well, guess what? Now you're going to have to more, maybe. If the tariffs are going to be that high, that it's really going to put you in a situation where you would have to raise the price. First of all, I doubt it. I doubt that's the situation, really. I doubt that it would come to the point. I'm sure there's other places where they could kind of cut costs here and there that wouldn't affect the wages of workers, wouldn't affect the price of the product. You know, they always try to scare you, oh, if we have to pay, and this isn't applying to Moog, this is looking big picture now. If we have to raise the wages of our workers, the price of your Big Mac's going to be $20. That's bullshit. When the price of beef goes up, the price of the Big Mac doesn't change. When the price of gasoline goes up, the price of the Big Mac doesn't change. Why not? Well, because they find other ways. They use they use cheaper paper towels or something. You know, I'm just, you know, that's what corporations do. They're not going to price themselves out of any market. The point being, you can give living wages. And I think in the case of Moog, no, there's other ways you can adapt to this. I think this is corporate speak for trying to justify cutting corners. And, it's really easy. If you're a company, when there's something like Trump derangement syndrome going on, which, as we talk about on this show, Trump derangement syndrome is a real thing. Trump denial syndrome, also a real thing. And they're both annoying. But anyway, in an age of Trump derangement syndrome, if you could go and move a bunch of jobs overseas to cut corners for your corporation and to screw over American workers, but have Trump as a blame man, a lot of folks are going to give you a pass. Should they? Absolutely not. Neoliberalism is nothing new in the United States. It wasn't invented by Trump. We've had it for 40 years. That's the reality. Trump is something we've gotten to, not something that just fell out of nowhere. It's not like things were hunky-dory and then Trump got here. And I know I'm preaching to the choir. So I think that this is just an example of Trump derangement syndrome, and this is just the kind of MIC-resistant corporatocracy trying to blame Trump for neoliberal nonsense that's been going on for a long time. And instead of, paying a tariff, they want to say, oh, without NAFTA, without this, without these breaks for corporations all around the world, we might have to do this. No, you don't. I doubt it. Well, let me see what you guys are saying. If you do tariffs, you better make sure you have the industries at home you are putting tariffs on. I like the idea of Harley going to the EU to manufacture what they sell in Europe and BMW needs to build here. Life is good. Okay. There are 2 Moogs in the U.S., an aerospace and a music company, so confirmed Moo Music is out of Asheville. Yes, Moo Music is out of Asheville. Daniel says, couldn't agree more. Diana, I'm letting your ad play so you can make 2 more cents. Thank you. The price of a Big Mac is based on supply and demand. Let's see here. The CEO is going to get that bonus no matter what. Trump gets blamed for the sun coming up. Why would anybody blame somebody for that? I think I like the fact that the sun comes up. Who's blaming somebody for that? Trey, who is mad that the sun's coming up? Now Trump does not now. A fun little thing. Some people blame Trump for the sun coming up. Other people give Trump credit for the sun coming up. So we are living in an age of extremes. And sometimes when you're just sort of an outsider looking in, noticing how absurd all of this is, people don't know what to make of you. I blame Trump for sunburn. I blame myself for sunburn. I still get them because I find I'm a ginger, so sunburn is something I've dealt with my entire life because I love the beach and I love the sun, but I hate sunscreen. I find it very uncomfortable, and I use it. Don't get me wrong. It's not like I don't use it, but sometimes I'm like, I don't need to reapply, and it's like, no, idiot, you need to reapply. I'm fine. No, you're not fine. You need to reapply. You are very fair-skinned. You need to reapply. One time in 8th grade, I went to a pool party, and I wanted to look cool by not wearing sunscreen. I'm like, I don't need that. I'm going to tan. And I got sun poisoning. That's what happened next. I got sun poisoning. All right, let's move on. So, Moog, I think you need to adapt and not screw your workers over. That's what I think. And, if you do screw your workers over, you don't get to just blame Trump for that. That's ridiculous. Hey guys, thanks for watching. That was a clip from Get Your News On with Ron, the world's first viewer-curated streaming news show. What does that mean? That means I log on to a stream and people tweet me articles over on Twitter at Ron Placone, or they use our Reddit subsection, which is just Get Your News On with Ron over on Reddit. And that's how we build the show. I'm seeing all these articles for the first time. We are literally getting our news on together. Follow me on Twitter at Ron Placone so you can participate. And this show streams live every Tuesday through Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, so please do tune in. If you want to support this show, you can do so over on patreon.com/Ron Placone, where for as low as $1 a month, you get access to exclusive podcasts every week, exclusive videos, free tickets to shows when I'm performing in your town, and more for as low as $1 a month. Please do consider it. Thank you so much for your support. This has been Get Your News On with Ron.